Hello and welcome to our West Coast Today podcast with me, Sandy Neal.
Me, Fiona Scott.
Me, Matt Young.
Me, Kathy Griffiths.
And me, Owen Wild.
We're here to give you a little insight into some of the stories from Scotland's wintry West Coast this week, appearing in this Thursday's Lochaber Times and Oban Times, and on our one-stop shop website, www.westcoasttoday.co.uk. We love hearing your stories, so why not drop us an email at editor@obantimes.co.uk or editor@lochabertimes.co.uk, or you can give us a call on 01631 568 000. First up today is Fee in Lochaber. Fee, what's happening up north?
Well, thanks, Sandy. We're starting off this week on a bit of a sad note. We were all devastated last weekend on hearing of yet another fatal accident on our region's roads. A 44-year-old man and a 16-year-old Lochaber High School pupil were killed in the single vehicle crash on the A830 at Corpach at around 1:45 on Saturday morning. Police are appealing to anyone who saw anything which may help or has dashcam footage of the area around the time to get in touch. Our thoughts and sympathy go out to relatives and friends of the victims. Over in the sports section, Fort William FC Women have become the newest team to join the Scottish Power Highlands and Islands League. Representatives from Scottish Women's Football and Scottish Power officially welcomed the club at the 2026 league launch at Glenfinnan Viaduct in Clagan Park ahead of the new season kicking off this Sunday. Elsewhere, Malig Marathon man Pavel Cymbalista has been making the headlines again. Over the past few years, readers will remember Pavel's various fastest-known time records on courses around the country, as well as smashing the Scafell Pike and Ben Nevis 24-hour records for the most times up and down. His meteoric rise has now been recognised as the 37-year-old father of two has been announced as the recipient of a new Fort William Mountain Festival Award. You can read all this and more in this week's Lochaber Times, or why not jump over to www.westcoasttoday.co.uk, where you will find news and features from all our titles here on the West Coast. Back to you, Sandy.
Thank you very much, Fee. Moving back south into the territory of the Oban Times now. Matt, what's news?
Thank you, Sandy. Filmmakers Andy Crabb and James Gray have hailed the extraordinary stories of refugees as they premiered a documentary celebrating Argyll and Bute's resettlement success. An Argyll and Bute welcome tells the tales of refugees across the region, highlighting their successes settling into communities all over the West Coast. The 30-minute documentary was shown online last week and is expected to be displayed Scotland-wide throughout 2026. Green Highlands and Islands MSP Ariane Burgess has called on the Scottish Parliament to focus on further reforms after the Crofting Bill progressed to the final legislative stage. The Crofting and Scottish Land Court Bill aims to reform the practice, but Miss Burgess says the bill in its current format doesn't do enough to protect crofters. MSPs are expected to vote on the legislation before the Scottish Parliament dissolves in April. And finally for me, well, all the football focus may be on a remarkable Scottish Premiership season this year, but up here we have one of our very own. Oban Saints are cooking up a title charge. Stenhouse Muirside were the latest team to be dispatched by an informed Saints last weekend. A 3-1 victory saw the Saints rise to second in the table, just 2 points behind leaders Dunblane. Oban have 3 games in hand, so that puts them firmly in the driving seat. And maybe Old Firm fans from Oban might have a choice as to what game they tune into this weekend.
Thank you very much, Matt. Well, there's been a gap left by the Winter Olympics, so that's this weekend. Sorted. Kathy, what have you been writing about?
Thanks, Sandy. This week's Oban Times features heartfelt tributes to phenomenal young farmer Dougie MacDonald from Benderloch, who died suddenly after a short illness, an illness from which he was expected to recover. At the age of just 23, Dougie, at work and at play, was one of life's good guys, touching many, many lives, known for his smile that would light up the darkest of days. You can read these and more tributes to Dougie in this week's paper and online at www.westcoasttoday.co.uk. Islanders were on false alert this weekend after Argyll and Bute Council mistakenly listed Ling's school building for disposal. Campaigners who fought a hard battle to get the primary school mothballed breathed a sigh of relief when the council put its hand up to say the listing was made in error. And next time you miss a train or have to hang around waiting for a lift or connection, maybe consider buying a lottery ticket. It turned out well for a mystery man from Argyll and Bute who did just that and won himself £1 million. Got to be in it to win it. Back to you, Sandy.
Thank you very much, Kathy. Owen, what have you got for us this week?
Thank you, Sandy. Well, investigations have been launched by multiple agencies, including the police and council, into the felling of trees and the destruction of the path at Dalmalley's old military road near Rodteetle. Campaigners on the Mull Campus has spoken about their next steps following defeat in the judicial review against Argyll and Bute Council. Lord Cuby determined last week that the council's process in selecting Tobermory as the site for the school was in fact lawful. But campaigners maintain the location is wrong on moral grounds and are determined to continue their fight. And finally, Calmac's newest ferry is finally here. It was an eventful journey for the MV Isle of Isla, which was stuck due to storms and even pulled off a rescue off the coast of Morocco. But we're all glad to see her finally here, safe and sound in Scotland. Aren't we, guys?
Phew,
Yay.
we are. Exactly. Thank you very much, Owen. Well, I think that's more than enough for this week. Remember, you can read all the stories from our West Coast papers and lots more online by going to www.westcoasttoday.co.uk or by picking up printed copies in local shops. Many thanks for listening, and it's bye from me, Sandy Neal.
Bye from me, Fiona Scott.
Bye from me, Matt Young.
Bye from me, Kathy Griffiths.
And bye from me, Owen Wild.
Bye.
Bye.